Hi, I'm Kate Cooper, Professor of History at Royal Holloway. I'm a historian of the ancient world, and my special focus is the rise of Christianity and the history of the family. Students are often really surprised to discover how much we know about ancient women. You wouldn't necessarily expect that we know so much, not only the empresses and the people of great historical importance in a political sense, but we also know a surprising amount about humbler people, for one of the most interesting examples are the early Christian martyrs. In the second and third centuries, we've got narratives preserved by Christian churches about people who they saw as heroes of resistance against the unjust power of the Roman state. And so, for example, we have a prison diary from the very early 3rd century from a 22-year-old woman called Perpetua, who Perpetua is imprisoned because she's believed to be a thought criminal because of her Christian beliefs. While she's writing her diary, she's expecting to be executed in the arena during the Roman gladiatorial games, because in that period of history, people who were in prison were often sold to the gladiatorial schools as basically cheap fodder for the games. So Perpetua knows that after her period in prison, she's going to be sold to the games givers and used as a pawn in the gladiatorial games, and that this is probably going to be fatal. And the way she talks about her expectation of death as an opportunity to stand up for what she believes is phenomenal. First of all, just the courage of this young woman is astonishing. But secondly, she's aware that her family are furious with her because they are desperately trying to get her out, at the same time that she is desperately trying to build up the courage to be sure. What she wants is to be sure that she's going to be strong enough to actually go through with it. And her father comes to her, and he tells her that he needs her to give up and to apologize to the governor's representative and to say, "I'm sorry, I will worship the pagan gods, I'll go home quietly." And she says to him, I'm so sorry, I know I'm your daughter, I'm meant to do what you tell me to, but I can't do what you're telling me to do because I know that the truth is that God wants me to die as a witness for the fact that Jesus died 200 years ago. And of course, the father thinks she's absolutely crazy, and he's devastated, and he ends up literally lying on the floor crying. And Perpetua ends the scene by saying, "I just couldn't bear what I had to do to my father in order to stand up for what I believe." And this whole story, which goes on for a number of pages, you end up getting so deeply into the psychology of this young woman who's, on the one hand, involved in this huge conflict of the transition from the pagan world to the Christian world. On the other hand, it's a very intimate conflict of family members disagreeing about their religious beliefs and whether or not one of them should be allowed to die for a cause that the other ones either don't believe in, or else they do believe, but not enough to see their child die.